scientists discovered an interstellar portal on Mars. To master this teleportation technology, the doctor began human trials. As the portal's runes lit up, the device, dormant for 7,000 years, activated again. After a deep breath, the test subject stepped into the liquid medium, and in the next second, he appeared on Phobos, 400 million kilometers away. All the scientists burst into applause and cheers. The experiment's success meant humanity would break distance limits. This was humanity's true step into interstellar travel. Suddenly, a red alert sounded in the lab. Dangerous, unknown energy was detected. Only then did the doctor notice black liquid streaming from the test subject's eyes, and his fingernails had become sharp and pitch black. Something had gone terribly wrong. Soon after, a ship carrying a Navy Special Forces unit arrived at Phobos from Earth. After 4 months of cryogenic sleep, Deputy Captain Lewis was awakened, and the other members gradually regained consciousness. They were briefed on the mission. Due to the failed teleportation experiment, the Phobos base had suffered some damage. To prevent things from getting worse, they needed to assess the site in person and protect the base's scientists. Meanwhile, the doctor was applying to conduct a second experiment. His analysis showed the previous test subject had traces of antidepressants, indicating he had concealed his condition when joining the experiment. The teleportation gate works by breaking down and reassembling a person's body cells. It must have been these medications caused the accident during the subject's reassembly. They couldn't halt such an important study because the subject's fingernails grew longer, but the higher-ups insisted no one else could be sent through the teleportation gate until the exact cause was determined. This made the doctor angry. If the experiment didn't make new progress, the research would be terminated. Was mastering teleportation technology not their ultimate dream? So, he decided to become the test subject himself. As the teleportation gate started up again, the doctor walked in without hesitation. Unexpectedly, this experiment caused greater destruction. The entire base lost power, and several people were injured. Just as the female scientist was about to help, she suddenly heard a strange noise behind her. At this moment, the Special Forces ship had already arrived and landed on the hangar of Phobos. They noticed the unusual power outage at the base, and after confirming no contact could be made, the team members grabbed their gear, preparing to enter through the emergency entrance to investigate. On the surface, the base didn't appear to have suffered any damage, but the accompanying scientist, Jack, told them the backup power was down to just 2%, meaning something had consumed a massive amount of energy in an instant. They only had 90 minutes to restore power. Otherwise, if the energy core melted down, the entire Phobos would be wiped out. With time running out, the group had no choice but to split up to speed up the search. It wasn't long before Lewis discovered the fallen base guards. They had all been wiped out, leaving only a few lines of bloody writing on the wall. One of the team members recognized it as Sumerian, a language that had disappeared for 2,000 years. Lewis immediately had the ship's AI translate the message.
Have come to reclaim what is ours. Through wrath will come justice. Through pain to divinity. No escape this time. The rest of the data is corrupted or incomplete and cannot be translated.
These words seem like some kind of cult scripture. No one paid much attention and they continued searching, but none of them realized that the ship's systems had actually been hacked and the squad's route had been altered. Since they weren't familiar with the base's layout, they didn't know they were being led into a trap. As soon as they entered the door, they were attacked. Judging by the attackers' clothes, they were probably scientists from the base, but no one knew why they had suddenly turned into zombie-like creatures. Meanwhile, another squad found survivors, but they too were attacked by zombies. The group had to fight as they retreated toward the core area of the base. As more teammates were killed, Lewis became furious. He demanded to know what Jack was hiding that was getting people killed, so Jack had to tell the truth.
They found evidence of alien life. I fucking knew it!
What kind of evidence?
The kind you wouldn't understand.
Just then, a team member arrived with the doctor to join up with the group. He explained to everyone what had really happened in the base. For 30 years, the company had been trying to find a second home for humanity, but there had been no progress at all. Until recently, when scientists discovered 2 portals that had existed for at least 7,000 years. The doctor believed that these portals were left by aliens, scattered throughout the universe. But when the doctor entered the portal, he realized they had all been wrong. These weren't portals, but gates to hell. When the doctor activated the portal, he released the demons inside. The zombies they had encountered earlier were actually humans whose souls had been taken over by these demons. After learning about the situation at the base, Lewis decided to evacuate. With only 29 minutes left before the power ran out, they quickly retreated to the spaceship. But then, Lewis discovered the spaceship had also been attacked. Before he could sound the alarm, the team was ambushed. This time, the monsters were different from the zombies. They could not only withstand bullets, but could launch fireballs. The moment the team encountered them, they suffered heavy casualties. Lewis rushed over to help immediately, but was ambushed by one of the demons. These monsters were incredibly strong and extremely agile. Lewis had no way to fight back and was pinned down. At that moment, the demon opened its mouth and began to suck out his soul. Lewis instantly lost consciousness. He saw his deceased sister and then a desolate planet. Fortunately, a scientist woke up and drove the demon away. Luis picked up a weapon and quickly finished off the enemy. After using all his bullets, he managed to take down the demon. Unfortunately, the scientist who saved him was killed. When all the demons eliminated, only a few team members were left. But what was even worse was that the spaceship was so badly damaged that not only could they not take off, they couldn't even send out a distress signal. All they could do was stay there and wait for death. At that moment, the doctor came up with an escape plan. The interstellar portal was still operational. As long as they connected the power core, they could return to Earth in just 1 second. At this point, everyone had no other choice but to go with this plan. As everyone went off to get ready, Jack suddenly called out to Lewis. The last time they activated the portal, it almost destroyed the entire base. No one knew what kind of monsters might come out of it. They couldn't just blindly follow the doctor's plan. Lewis understood this perfectly well. He never intended to activate the portal in the first place. Once the power core was fixed, he planned to send a distress signal to Earth. Not long after, under the doctor's lead, the group found the power core. Jack checked the system information and saw that the core wasn't badly damaged. After replacing a circuit board, the core was back to normal. But just then, the doctor suddenly stabbed the female scientist. When everyone rushed over to check, he slipped into the elevator and headed straight for the lab.
Open the door now.
Sorry, Lieutenant. You have your orders. I have mine.
Just as Lewis was about to give chase, the demon suddenly launched an attack. But thanks to his previous combat experience, Lewis already knew the demon's weak points, so he easily took down the demon attacking him. However, the other team members were hit by the demon's fireballs while trying to cover Jack. By the time the battle was over, only Lewis and Jack were still able to move. Wanting to figure out what the doctor was really up to, Lewis also planned to head to the lab, but the elevator had already been completely locked down. At that moment, the injured female scientist pulled out an access card. They could take another route to the lab. On their way, they passed by the weapons research lab, and Lewis immediately set his sights on an energy gun hanging on the wall. It could fire powerful plasma blasts, but Jack told him that the weapon had a flaw. Its power supply was insufficient, only allowing for 2 hours of charging and 5 seconds of use. Even so, Lewis still took the energy gun and grabbed all the plasma grenades as well. With just regular weapons, they probably wouldn't be able to handle those demons. Not long after, they finally arrived at the lab, but as soon as the door opened, Jack was taken away. Immediately after, zombies and demons attacked together. After dealing with these monsters, Lewis finally met the doctor. He had already successfully connected the energy core to the portal. Once it was activated, demons would be able to pour through endlessly and once again become the rulers of Earth. Just as Lewis was about to take him out, the door suddenly burst open and Jack rushed out from inside. He had already had his soul taken over by the demons and had become a walking corpse. While Lewis was being held up, the doctor successfully activated the portal. Lewis had no choice but to take out Jack, but by then the doctor was already aiming at him from behind. He told Lewis that after entering the portal, the demons had shown him the direction for his life, and now Lewis could go meet his new master. But what the doctor didn't know was that as soon as Lewis thought about what he said, he immediately snatched the pistol back. Lewis showed no mercy to a traitor to humanity like him. As he took the pass and was about to leave, the doctor suddenly came back to life. He tore open his clothes, revealing a body transformed by demons. He could no longer be considered human. When Lewis climbed out of the water, he found himself in an unfamiliar place. It was exactly the same desolate planet he had seen in his hallucination. As he cautiously looked around, a Martian demon slowly began to take shape behind him. It was clearly an elite monster. As it let out a roar, countless Martian demons poked their heads out from the caves. They gathered together, preparing to travel to Earth through the portal. Lewis slowly raised his gun, ready to take a shot at this elite monster, but with just a glance from the demon, he was sent flying. Then, to his surprise, the demon actually spoke in human language. It turned out that 1,000 years ago, during their interstellar invasion, these Martian demons were trapped on this planet by humans. No matter how powerful they were, they could only struggle to survive in this barren place. They never expected that 1,000 years later, humans would release them. This time, they wouldn't make the same mistake. They were determined to wipe out humanity. As it closed in, Lewis had already crawled back to his weapon. He didn't give up. He landed a perfect shot and took down the elite monster. At that moment, more Martian demons swarmed at him. Lewis fired as he retreated. After running out of energy, he leapt over the lava fissure. The portal to Earth was right in front of him, and countless demons were charging at him. Lewis threw his plasma grenades. As the grenades exploded among the demons, he used the blast to propel himself into the portal. The next second, Lewis appeared in a laboratory on Earth. He told the scientists to shut down the portal immediately, or else the demons would soon take over the Earth. However, the scientists, unaware of the truth, thought Lewis was a cell reconstruction patient who was confused and talking nonsense, so they tried to sedate him with an injection. Just as Lewis was struggling desperately, terrifying roars came from inside the portal. Next, Earth is probably about to enter hell mode.